you guys, I got into the part where Satan started to send distractions. So he started to send, so this was an example. He had someone send me on TikTok and DM me a video that said, do not move to Texas. This is how the enemy comes in, and he tries to, when you have your mind set, he tries to throw you off your path. You guys, I literally, in this time period when I was deciding, a lot of videos that I had watched, they talked about why it's important to not tell people your decision yet. I kept it so on the hush from my family, from anybody. This was just something between me and God, because I had to make sure that this is what God was calling me to do, number one. And number two, I couldn't give room for the enemy to get in my head and make me doubt or make me go back on what I had already decided. So I kept this very secret, you guys, until the literal week that I was about to move. Like, that's how serious it was, y'all. So like, I kept it on the hush. But you guys, everything moved so fast. So after Satan sent me that, then he sent me on, that was on August 9th. Then he sent me on August 11th. He tried to send me an apartment that was in Muncie. And it seemed like, you guys, this was the perfect apartment, but I realized it was a counterfeit, because God clearly stated you were going to be moving to Dallas. It was not going to be anywhere in your state, in your home state. But this apartment, you guys, it was clean, it was beautiful, it had the perfect price for rent, the perfect bedrooms. Like, it seemed like this was the one, okay, you guys? But God spoke to me. This is a counterfeit opportunity. This is something being sent from Satan. This is not of me. I told you, Dallas. That's another thing I would advise you guys. Be rooted in your relationship with God. As I said, fast, pray on the decision, because you want to make sure that God is telling you specifically that he wants you to do this. You want to make sure that you can be able to discern the voice of God versus the voice of the enemy. I want you to know that it's very important that you pray through this process, that you consult God on every single step. Even when it comes down to applying for an apartment, pray before you apply. Pray before you decide to apply to an apartment, because you know the wrong decision can detour you. Even though I personally truly believe that God will always block an opportunity if it's not for you. He will always block it before you get to make that, before you get too far into it. So don't worry. But you guys, I felt a lot of discouragement through this process. I felt really discouraged because I dealt with a lot of confusion. I dealt with a lot of wondering, stress. I felt very excited though at the same time. I felt so excited, like anticipating. I dealt with a lot of doubt because I was like, God, is this really going to happen? Because I don't have a job. I don't see how this is going to happen. But like I told you guys previously, God had called me to go back to school the year, that same year. So, this was 2023. So the year before, he had called me to go back to school. So you guys, this was just so incredible. You know what I'm saying? How God did this. And you're going to see how that ties into the story later with me going back to school. But you guys, I remember God, I kept asking him for signs, and he confirmed actually through my mom about Texas, and he confirmed through another apostle about me moving to Texas. They didn't exactly say you're going to move to Texas, but it's something they said, and the Holy Spirit just leading me like, that's your confirmation. Like, it stuck out to me. Look for confirmations from people, things that you see that'll stick out to you, where the Holy Spirit has it like a speaker that says like, this is meant for you to hear. This is for you. You know what I mean? As I told you guys, social media, it was all down my social media timeline. Like, even when I went to TikTok, even when I went to YouTube, it was synchronized. That's how God works, you guys. So then it goes into God confirming the date. I was like, God, when should I move? Because I was stuck between September and October. Then God gave me the date of the 15th. He showed me the date of the 15th. And I was like, okay, that's my set date. That's when I'm going to move. I will also suggest you guys to set and pick a set date that does not change. Look into resources. God started me by looking at resources in Dallas. Looking for, since I'm a single mom, I was looking for, food assistance. I was looking for, jobs. I started applying for jobs. I started to apply, go through temp agencies. Those were tips I saw on YouTube. But God did not intend for that to be my specific plan, to have a job. A lot of people will get jobs before they move, but God He just does not want me to have a 9 to 5. So that did not work out like I planned, but it's all in God's perfect will. He still provided for me, even though I did not have a job the whole time, you know? But you guys, I started to get discouraged again because I kept I kept trying to call. I literally would have searched for apartments every single day, and I called every single one, asked them, do they accept, you know, applicants that do not have employment? Will they accept just a job or offer letter? And that's why I kept trying to get a job. But God was like, no, you're not getting a job. So, because he's like, I need you to work for me, for the kingdom. So you guys, after that, okay, I was applying for apartments. You know, I didn't get approved. I was getting discouraged because they said you need 3 times the rent. I'm like, God, how is this going to work? But God has continually encouraged me, saying, you're going to move. You're going to move. Like, stop doubting me. So you guys, comes down to when I'm supposed to move, okay? You guys, I barely had the money. I'm literally asking God for supernatural faith to do this, you guys. I'm fearing my finances lacking. You guys, okay, so on August 15th, 2023, it says that I talked to the office and submitted application. So I talked to this apartment, you guys. I get this feeling when I first look at the apartment online. I didn't have a car, so I'm, you know, researching bus routes. Is it close to the bus line? You know what I'm saying, you guys? Activities I can do with my kids for free or low cost, you know, all these things. I literally talked to the apartments, you guys. They say they do not require you to have income. You guys, I could not believe it. I was like, this is the apartment. I already had a good feeling when I seen it online. I'm like, Holy Spirit is like giving me a good feeling.